Live from the Dr. Jerry Henderson Radio Complex, it's time for Card Guys. And now, here's your host, Anthony Schulte.
Good morning. Thank you, Michael, for the intro as always, and welcome to Card Guys, Detroit Sports Talk, Season 3, Episode 12. Coming up today, the Lions edge out a seismic victory in Skull Country, defeating the Vikings off the trusty boot of their rookie. NFL Week 7 was wild, and we recap all of the happenings from yesterday. I'm Anthony Schulte, and joining me as always is my man, Ryan Donnelly.
That Lions win last night gets 5 big booms. Boom, 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 boom. Boom! And if you don't get the reference, Jake Bates, when he hit his field goal, did the Bring the Boom dance from AJ and Big Justice, who's like my favorite duo right now on the internet.
The Costco guys.
He did, I don't know the dance, but I'm not going to do the dance. But he did the Bring the Boom dance after he nailed a 44-yard field goal. So that's the reference, for those who don't know.
We are brain-rotted to the core. And right next to me, Mr. Michael Rosenkranz.
It's an early morning on a Monday, but that tiredness is cleared up by a Lions victory. I texted the group chat yesterday, in the words of your grandpa Schulte, I don't know how he won that football game. But, as you always like to say, good teams find ways to win. And Lions found a crucial way to win probably their biggest divisional game of the season.
Indeed. So we're going to start with our 3 stars here on a Victory Monday. Michael, kick us off.
All right. So my third star is going to go to the goofball himself, Sir Chancelot. How many nicknames can we come up with him? Jared Goff. He had another good day yesterday. 22-25 for 280 yards. 2 touchdowns. Lots of different Lions on the scoreboard yesterday, which was really cool to see. Gibby had a touchdown. Amon-Ra had a touchdown. Khalif Raymond had a touchdown.
His first of the
year, so that felt good to get it out of the way. My second star is going to go to Juan Soto. Didn't really want the Yankees to move on, but the Yankees
beat Cleveland.
Are a good team.
They beat Cleveland. I'm happy.
Go Dodgers.
Juan Soto just absolutely coming in clutch with that World Series clinching 3-run home run in the top of the 9th. That was just incredible. And my first star is going to go to Tommy Edman of the Los Angeles Dodgers. He received an LCS MVP, 1 home run, 11 hits, 11 RBIs, 5 runs. Dude balled out in the NLCS. So those are my 3 stars.
Ryan.
All right, my 3 stars. My third star, I'm going with the best defensive player from the Lions and the best defensive player in football, Brian Branch, who yesterday against the Minnesota Vikings had 4 tackles, 2 passes defended, 0 forced fumbles, and 1 pick. And that pick was probably one of the greatest picks I've ever seen. He got up for that one, if y'all remember that pick.
I couldn't believe it when I watched that pick.
That was an insane pick by Brian Branch. This Lions defense is going to be just fine without Hutch. We'll talk about that later on in the show. Second star, Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, who yesterday against the Tennessee Titans, who the Lions play next, 21 for 33, a 63.6% completion rate, 323 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks, and a quarterback rating of a 116. Not too shabby from
He hasn't
Josh
thrown a pick
Allen.
all season.
He has not thrown a pick all
Josh
season.
Allen's been stout
looking like the NFL MVP. And my first star, I got to give it to Jahmyr Gibbs, who yesterday for the Lions, who was their MVP. Let me take a look. There it is. 15 carries, 116 yards, 7 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns, 4 receptions, 45 yards, no fumbles, clutch genes. Jahmyr Gibbs,
he got us in field position.
He got us in field possession. Filled in nicely when Montgomery was out for a little bit, but those are my 3 stars. Anthony.
All right, so my third star, we got to go with my fantasy savior, Saquon Barkley, going into MetLife Field, or MetLife Stadium, excuse me. And while the fans are rating him with boos, a tud, he gets 176 yards. Should have had 3 touchdowns, but the stupid tush push. Oh, I hate that. Saquon Barkley should have way more touchdowns this year, but that stupid tush push and Jalen Hurts getting fake stats, I hate it, but nonetheless, a great game for Saquon Barkley, going back to his old stomping grounds in New York. My second star, he's on my shirt today, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Let me pull up his stats here. Amon-Ra had 8 receptions, 112 yards, and a tud yesterday. Outperformed Justin Jefferson, the quote-unquote best receiver in the league.
Did pretty bad for me in fantasy yesterday.
Hey, St. Brown looked a lot better than him. How about that catch in double, triple coverage at the end of that game to really seal the field position for us?
When that happened, I could have sworn that ball was picked.
My heart sunk. When I saw that ball thrown and I saw 3 purple jerseys right there, I was like, oh, what are we doing, Jared? But then Amon-Ra pulls it down. I'm like, good job, Jared. Like, it was so questionable. Even now, I'm like, don't throw that again.
No.
Do not throw that again, because that's not a guaranteed catch every time. But Amon-Ra's sure hands make it a way better, way more likely for that to be hauled in. And that sets up my first star, Jake Bates, the rookie, getting his time to shine, gets the game ball from Dan Campbell, the main game ball, first game ball. Game-winning field goal. Without that boot, we don't win that game. So Jake Bates is my first star. We've kind of touched on the Lions. Let's get into the Lions. A incredible, huge victory for the Lions. It can't be emphasized enough. How important this game truly was in the grand scheme of things. Your first divisional game. They're undefeated. It's the Minnesota Vikings. They're the talk of the town. One of the last unbeatens in the NFL. And you come into their house, which is already hard enough to play in, and you take care of business. You did it last year by winning the NFC North in their house, and you do it this year, knocking them down and taking over first place, not only in the North, but in the NFC in general. You're in first place. A statement win after a statement win after a statement win for the Lions, just piling up statement wins.
Yeah, a win is a win is a win is a win, man.
Indeed.
Like,
in the words of Troy Dan.
Yes. Man, that was just a great all-out win for Hutch. Man, everyone did great. Amon-Ra did great. Amon-Ra had, I think, 1 touchdown.
He had 1 tud.
Amon-Ra had a touchdown. Khalif had a touchdown.
First of the year.
Jameer had 2. Like, everyone did their part. The defense looked phenomenal. Although it started off really bad with that fake punt. Oh, don't get me started with that.
The first 5 minutes of that game.
That first fake punt call, I wanted to rip my hair out of my head. As soon as the guy went in motion, I was just like, this is going to be a fake.
Yeah. It's like, why do you send somebody in motion on a fake? That's just giving it away. Like, if you're a smart defense, which a Brian Flores defense is a smart defense, you're going to sniff that out almost immediately. And I'm sure they were probably expecting it, especially with their backs against the wall. But I was getting PTSD from that Ravens game last year. I was getting the same vibes. I was like, oh, here we go. This is going to be a long game. I was already thinking about ways to live with this loss. And we, somehow, some way, good teams find ways to win. And this team dug deep. I always said, too, the first game that David Montgomery doesn't score a touchdown or struggles, we're losing. Because our offense depends so heavily on him. We never got down to the 1 yard line or the 2 yard line. We never really needed to utilize him. And first game this season without a touchdown. He also had a fumble, his first fumble of the season. I think his first fumble in a very long time. And that gave them a touchdown. That gave them the lead. That could have won them the game. Montgomery struggles. I thought the first game Montgomery struggles would be a loss for us just because he's so important. His performance is so important. But then we got Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs really picking up the slack for Montgomery on an off day kind of makes up for it. Okay, Montgomery, you had an off day. Let's see you become better next week. We cannot take Tennessee lightly.
No.
I can't stress that enough.
No.
You cannot take this team lightly. They gave the Bills a shot in the first quarter. They were competing with them, and then the Bills kind of took over. You need to prepare for Tennessee like you prepared for Minnesota, like you prepared for Dallas. Like they're a contending team.
You should never take any team seriously.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Even when we play the Colts later in the season, can't take them seriously. We would play the Jags later.
You mean take them seriously?
What'd I say?
You said can't take them seriously.
Yeah, whatever. It's 7:36 a.m.
Can't take them for
It's been
granted.
hard to get out of bed.
Can't take them for granted.
Yeah,
that's probably what you were trying to
It's
say.
been hard to get out of bed, people.
Fair enough.
When we play Jacksonville, who's been awful, We cannot take them for granted at all. You can't treat the NFL like it's a cupcake league. Like,
any team can beat any team.
exactly. Like, look at the Broncos. They beat the Bucs, and they're probably going to win the NFC South. You can't take any team for granted, man. And in that locker room celebration, they looked a little too excited. Normally, they put their heads down and move on to the next week. Next week, when it's Tennessee, in my mind, I'm like, uh-oh. Like, you guys need to lock in a little bit. Like, I know you guys are celebrating this very...
Tennessee's got talent.
Yeah, they got Hopkins. They got Ridley. They got Will Levis. Levis is garbage. But
Tony Pollard. They've got L'Jarius Sneed, even though he's been a little off this season.
And this rush defense without Hutch looked a little shaky, but we still got the job done no matter what.
We still applied pressure.
I mean, there's a vast difference between Tony Pollard and Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Aaron Jones has more power.
He still killed us.
And he still killed us. Tony Pollard just has straight up speed. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, it's going to be tough to contain him. But then again, Will Levis is his quarterback.
Yeah.
And this Titans offense it looks like a run-only offense. I don't see Will Levis throwing the ball that much. And every time it does, pick.
Yeah.
And,
meme.
I don't want... What's that?
Or a meme.
Yeah. But... you cannot take the Titans lightly. And their defense is not great outside of Snead, but any team you cannot take for granted. That's my point.
Looking at the Lions' schedule coming up, we really got through a really, really difficult part of the schedule. Buccaneers, Seahawks, Cowboys, Vikings in the last 5. Right? Mm-hmm. Those were all very good teams. But you've got the Titans coming up. You've got the Jaguars in a couple weeks. You've got the Colts in a couple weeks. You got to deal with the Packers in a couple Sundays. You got the Packers, Texans. Those are going to be 2 tough games. They had a heck of a game yesterday. So, I mean, looking at the schedule, you got Titans, you got Packers, you got Texans, you got Jaguars, you got Colts, you got Bears. Win 4. Go 4-2 over that. I think you can afford a loss to the Packers. You can afford a loss to the Texans, but you got to take care of the teams you got to take care of, which means you got to prepare for them like you're preparing every single week. Titans and Jaguars should be relatively winnable games. That Jaguars defense looks atrocious, even though, they looked a little bit better yesterday, but we'll get to them in a little bit. But looking ahead, really the only 2 games I could say should be a guaranteed win, Titans and Jaguars and Colts. Mm-hmm. Because the Bears, heck of a team. Packers, heck of a team. Bills, heck of a team. 49ers, heck of a team.
Had their struggles, but they're still very good.
Yeah, and they'll probably be mostly healthy by the time we get to them.
Probably.
Outside of C-Mac, yeah.
C-Mac's to be back. Debo's to be back and fully healthy. Brandon Ayuk's probably out for the season.
C-Mac, I thought, had an Achilles injury.
He does, but he's going to be coming back soon.
Darn it.
Yep. So, you don't have that easy of a schedule. You got through the first hurdle, I think. The first hurdle of the season, you got through it. Now you got the Titans. Let's go get a win. Let's go build some confidence. Let's go build and work on some stuff there. Then you got the Packers in Lambeau. Then you got you got the Packers at home. And you got... Are we on away against the Texans? Yes. I keep getting that confused because in Madden season...
in 2020, we played the Texans on Thanksgiving. I remember because J.J. Watt had a pick 6 that game. But
didn't we lose on a field goal?
No, we lost by like 20 that game.
Oh, that was when Patricia got fired.
That was the last...
Yeah. We lost on a field goal to the Bears.
That was the last Quinn Trisha game.
We lost on a field goal to the Bears. I got my Thanksgivings mixed up. But in Madden, they have us playing at home against the Texans, at least in the season I was playing, so I keep getting that confused. So we have a little road trip to Lambeau and Houston. I think we lose one of those games. I think we beat the Titans. However, we lose one of the Packers or Texans games, and then we beat the Jaguars, beat the Colts, beat the Bears at home. We beat the Packers at home. We lose to the Bills, beat the Bears, or we lose to the Bears on the road, beat the Niners, beat the Vikings. I think we only lose 3 or 4 more games. And even then, 4 or 5 loss season, I think you're winning the division at that point. I think everybody's going to be kind of tied at that 10-6, 11-5 record. I think everybody might be at that around, dang near, right around there. Mm-hmm. I think it's all about matchup. And I think the 2 at the top are going to be the Vikings and the Lions, and it's all going to come down to that final game. That final game at home, the final Week 18, that's what it's really going to come down to. But that's kind of looking ahead for the Lions. Still an incredible win in Minnesota. Just a great win in Minnesota, and build on it for the Titans.
Well, keep in mind, Will Levis was also out yesterday against the game against the Bills.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
He played yesterday.
He was out. He might have got hurt. He might have got hurt later in the game.
Who's this backup quarterback?
You got Mason
Rudolph.
Mason
Oh, Rudolph, the
third stringer's Trevor Siemian.
the second string quarterback.
Yeah.
So
Honestly, I did not watch that game. It did not pop up on Red Zone much other than when the Bills scored. So
yeah, Will Levis is dealing with a shoulder injury, so he was inactive last night against the Bills. I don't know if the shoulder injury is going to carry over to next weekend.
Excuse me, guys.
Against the Leos, but we shall see. Lions are opening up as, I think, the biggest favorites for the Titans that I've seen this season.
wow.
In terms of betting odds. Let me see if I can get those really quickly for the Lions. Right now, they're set at 12.5.
Oh, wow.
Point favorites.
Oh,
I will
Right now,
gladly
they're
take
sitting
it.
at 12.5 point favorites.
oh,
So
boy. All right. Well,
I think that's the biggest margin I've seen thus far this season.
but again,
in terms
any given
of
Sunday.
betting odds. Yes, any given Sunday.
So Lions can't take this game lightly. Michael, what did you see yesterday? What's probably the biggest positive you could take away from yesterday?
I think one of the big things you can take away from yesterday, while I don't agree with most of it, you continue to see that aggressive approach of Dan Campbell. And he preaches aggressiveness. It's what this team is built on. And when he wants to take shots, he has complete faith in his team that they can get the job done. And that's exactly what they did. Now, the fake punt call, aggressive, not a good play call. I was not happy with that play call, nor was I happy with the throw to Amon-Ra in double, triple coverage. Because usually they're a team that runs it on third down and can make up that yardage. So when they pass it on third down, even Adam Amon on Fox was shocked. They were just like, they're going to throw this thing as soon as the play started.
Yeah.
He was expecting a run. So I like the aggressiveness. In just my humble opinion, I get worried with the aggressiveness. I've never really been a fan of the aggressiveness. I understand it's how you got there, but I've never really been one to just go with such an aggressive approach day in and day out.
But again, it's what got us here, and
It is.
He has faith in his team, and we have the talent to pull it off. Now, sometimes it's not going to work. Look at the fake punt. Sometimes it's not going to work. You're not going to be 100% perfect.
Right.
But I mean, you got to have faith in your quarterback. And Jared Goff, he put the ball where you need to put the ball, and Amon-Ra St. Brown has some of the best hands in the league. So you can, if there's two players that I can trust making a throw, a good throw into double, triple coverage and hauling it down, it's Goff to Amon-Ra. You know, that's probably the one duo in the NFL I can truly trust with that, because they have such good chemistry. Goff is when he's on, he's on. That's kind of what we've learned. If he's off, he's off. But if he's on, he's on. And you take the good with the bad in that scenario. And the good, you get down to the 20, 25-yard line, and you set up Jake Bates for a rather close game winner, 48 yards in the NFL nowadays is like a chip shot.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you got to be able to make everything within 50 yards.
I think one positive I could take away from last night was we have depth. We have great depth.
I didn't expect the depth.
In the words of Ben Johnson, the well is deep, and this well is very deep.
I didn't expect that the defensive ends to continue to put pressure. We were still able to keep the pressure off our interior linemen because the backups at the edge positions did their job. They did their job, and you know what? Props to that developmental core, and props to that coaching staff for preparing those guys.
I will admit, I didn't watch much of the game. I was broadcasting for the CMU Club Hockey Network this weekend, so I mean we had the game up, and I was watching periodically, but I didn't see if Isaiah Thomas made any. No,
Isaiah Thomas was inactive yesterday.
He didn't even get in.
He didn't even get in.
Okay, because what I've heard from Dan Campbell, I've heard that he's put up some solid production. Coming off the practice squad.
He'll probably be activated for next week against the Titans. Just see what he can do. See if he can kind of get his feet wet maybe against the Titans.
The only thing I heard from the defensive line is the last sack of the game. I don't remember who, but it's a guy I've never heard of, and I knew he was a backup, so I was like, all right, we got
build
that.
some confidence.
This team is playing for Hutch, especially this D-line, and the production that I saw when I saw it was good. And although our run defenses yesterday looked a little iffy at times, this team, when it shows up, it shows up. This team was built on grit, and they showed how gritty this team could really be. But this team, I think what it's really good at is showing up at the right moments. You got to keep this up throughout the whole game. Don't play good only when you have to show up. Play good with just the entire game. And I feel like with Hutch we did that, and without Hutch we kind of did that. But when we showed up, when we needed the moment, it happened. And that's why I love this team, man. We have depth.
And one more quick thing before we move on here. Something I've noticed is you mentioned the team. This is truly a team. I have not seen a professional team. Every single player, no matter if it's a third stringer, if it's a second stringer, if it's a starter, if it's an all-pro, every single Sunday after a win, they post. Even if it's a loss, they post on Instagram, and you got half the roster commenting and supporting each other. I mean, I feel like they all sit in the locker room and they all post and they're like, hey, I posted. Everybody goes to their account in comments. The support that these guys have, the brotherhood that these guys have, the camaraderie. I mean, you see it in the post game. You see it on the field. This team, not only do they love the game of football, they love being with each other. And I think that's what sets this team over the top. Over the top of teams like the Chiefs. I think the Lions are better than the Chiefs, even though the Chiefs have an incredible defense. We'll get to them later. The Lions are looking like the best team in the NFL. Camaraderie, off the field, on the field, putting work in, enjoying what they're doing. This is the best team in the NFL, and it's you can see it. You can see it. When a team can get along and a team loves each other, it's a brotherhood off the field, at practice. It shows up on the field, and they play better that way. Mm-hmm. And just incredible stuff from the Lions. They have their next game against the Titans. We'll kind of go more in depth.
I will be there in attendance.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
We'll go more in depth on Wednesday's program about the Titans. And the Lions, they play at 1 o'clock on next Sunday, I'm pretty sure. 1 o'clock?
Yes, 1
1
o'clock.
o'clock at Ford Field.
Classic 1 o'clock Ford Field bout. So the Lions look to continue their winning ways there.
Hashtag do it for Hutch.
Do it for Hutch,
do
baby.
it for Hutch.
All right, after this break, we're going to cover a couple different things right out of it, and then we're going to get into the NFL Week 7, an entertaining one. A lot of big performances this past weekend. You're watching Card Guys Detroit Sports Talk. We'll be right back after this. Sports cards, signed jerseys, signed helmets, and more. Miller's Sports Cards and Collectibles is your one-stop shop for all things the hobby. Make sure to check them out down Mission Street in Mount Pleasant, right past Meyer. Miller's Sports Cards and Collectibles. Card Guys, Detroit Sports Talk. Join Michael Rosenkranz,
Sports take precedence over academics.
I agree, but
Ryan Donnelly,
Corbin Burns, who is their big-ticket J13 item. Scooble is with us. Scooble's our big-ticket
Did
J1.
you just call Tarek Scooble James? And Anthony Schulte.
I have an issue.
You have.
There is no break. It's a constant grind. It's an unbreakable cycle.
Yeah, it's...
As they navigate through the Detroit sports landscape. Live Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:30 a.m. on 101.1 The Beat in Mount Pleasant and at 11 a.m. on YouTube. Card Guys, Detroit Sports Talk. Welcome back, Card Guys, Detroit Sports Talk. Ryan Donnelly, Michael Rosenkranz, Anthony Schulte here with you on a Victory Monday for the Detroit Lions. Hey, real quick, right before we get into some more football, WNBA season concluded last night with a Game 5 in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center. The Minnesota Lynx and the New York Liberty, incredible WNBA finals. Probably the best all-time.
What a game. What a series.
What a series. What a game. The Liberty win in overtime. Jonquel Jones wins the finals MVP. I still think it should have been Ionescu, but what do I know, right?
Or Breanna Stewart.
She made the game-winning free throws to really seal the deal with about 10 seconds left. It's really nice to see the women's basketball product really taking leaps and bounds recently. It is an enjoyable product now. It's some good basketball we're watching there. So the WNBA Finals concluded right before the NBA season tips off. So we just got basketball being pumped out. I couldn't be more excited.
I am. You guys don't know how ready I am for basketball. Not only
Every
NBA
night.
basketball, but college basketball. I'm so excited
it's gonna be great.
for Michigan
Didn't
basketball.
they blow out Oakland last
Oh,
night?
92 to 48.
92 for
Hail to the victors, hail yet, hail to the victors. All right. So,
Frauds.
Michigan-
Oakland are frauds.
Michigan also won a great coaching debut.
From
yesterday,
Dusty May.
from Dusty
I love
May.
it. I love what I saw. I watched a
great.
lot of the highlights. They didn't broadcast the game, but it was an exhibition at LCA last night against the Oakland Grizzlies, who made it to the round of 32 yesterday.
Golden Grizzlies.
Sorry. Shout out Greg Campy.
Yeah.
I respect you a lot, sir. Yeah, we blew them out, as we should.
Yep.
I mean, when Anthony watches every single Pistons game, I watch every single Michigan game because I'm a sicko, and I love my Michigan men. So
There it is.
I'm going to be watching every single Michigan game this year. I will take time out of my schedule to watch every Michigan game this year. Sorry. And also, I'm excited. I'm also most excited to go back to McGurk. The Broom on Barnfield.
the broom on
Barnfield,
Barnfield, baby.
You guys don't know. I am so pumped to go back to McGurk
yeah.
to watch CMU basketball.
Me too.
Oh, man. I'm
be
so
so
excited
much
for
fun.
basketball.
In the baseball world, the World Series is set now. We have the Yankees defeating Cleveland. Thank you. I'm sorry. I don't hate the Yankees as much as everybody else does. I get it. They're kind of like the Chiefs without the winning, obviously, recently, but people just don't like them. I'm sorry. I want to see Judge get a ring. I want to see Jazz Chisholm get a ring. I want to see Juan Soto get a second ring. So, I'm much happier with them going to the World Series than Cleveland. So, I'm happy. Cleveland has as many playoff wins as the Detroit Tigers. So, what can I say? And then last night, the New York Metropolitans sadly fall to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Shohei going to his first ever World Series. Hopefully Shohei might be able to get a ring.
I want Shohei.
I
want
would
Shohei to
love
get a ring.
Shohei to get a ring.
That would be awesome.
Go
I want
Dodgers.
that for him so bad.
Go
Go
Jack
Dodgers.
Flaherty, too.
Jack
Yeah.
Flaherty.
Go Dodgers for America and for you, Michael.
Yes. So Shohei could get a ring. I mean, a lot of guys could get a ring. That would be nice to get a ring. But Dodgers, Yankees, probably not the World Series. I kind of wanted a Subway Series, personally. I
Fair
like the
enough.
Mets a lot more than the Dodgers, but seeing Shohei maybe get a ring, that could be cool. So that's kind of what's going around in the sports world. Also, a little bit of broadcasting news. Bally Sports Detroit is no more. Bye-bye. It is now FanDuel Sports Network. Now, the only changes here are going, reportedly, according to the Detroit News, is going to be graphics and presentation. It still be the same studio, still be the same announcer teams because the announcers are signed with the teams, so they just broadcast wherever their rights are. So it'll be the same broadcasters, same talent, same Red Wings, Pistons, Tigers live, same format and everything. Even the app looks the same. Just it's a different color, it's blue, and it's a different name, FanDuel Sports Network, and hopefully a way better graphics package because the graphics package is also changing. No more belly bar! Thank you, Lord. Oh, my goodness.
I don't get the hate for the Bally Bar.
I
really don't.
I was going to
Okay.
say, did I not know you would beef with the Bally Bar?
I don't like the belly bar because I think it looks dumb. It's too skinny at the bottom. And I'm sorry, for baseball, okay, for hockey, it looks decent because the logos are zoomed in. For basketball, it looks meh because the logos are kind of zoomed in. For baseball, why are the logos so small? Why are the logos so small? It looks dumb. I hope it kind of looks like, I really like Thursday Night Footballs. I really like theirs, and I feel like it could kind of look the same. I feel like FanDuel Sports and Amazon Prime kind of have the same vibe when it comes to graphics. I looked at some of the FanDuel Sports programming, so I'm thinking it could look like Thursday Night Footballs, which would be great, but new graphics, kind of fresh. It's fresh. It's not Bally anymore. So, and for the people saying it's gambling, oh, you're promoting gambling, Bally is a frickin' casino. So it's the same thing, just one's virtual and one's in Las Vegas. There's no difference.
Yep.
So I think it's going to be a kind of fresh start. We're going to see the first broadcast with it tomorrow night with the Red Wings. But that's a little look into the sports world. Let's get into the NFL, shall we?
Yeah.
A little bit of
Right.
pigskin. So Me and Ryan went 9-3 this week.
9-4.
Or 9-4. Michael, you went 10-3. Let's start off with
Another
our Thursday
solid
night
week for
football
everybody.
game. Ladies and gentlemen, the Anthony Schulte upset of the week. It hits once again. It's one of the most trusty things in sports. The Anthony Schulte upset of the week. The Denver Broncos.
Yes, when teams see that Anthony Schulte picked them in the pick'em as their upset, they win.
And there's new criteria, actually, to the upset of the week. It's not just America's pick anymore. We got to go off the live odds they place now. On Pick'em, they have the money lines.
Oh, they do now.
They do.
So now we're going off of that. So obviously, the
Okay.
Saints were technically the underdog for that, but that wasn't there. The Broncos were least picked, so that still counts as the Anthony Schulte upset of the week. 33-10, absolutely incredible performance from the Broncos. Their defense got me 21 points.
Defense went off for the Broncos.
21 points. I got 150 in fantasy, and JMO got 0.6. So, boom.
I'm going to lose in fantasy, but I have King Henry this week.
There it is.
Or going tonight.
So the Broncos take down the Saints in just a massacre. Speaking of massacres, Jacksonville defeats the Patriots in their second home of London, England, 32-16. Brian Thomas, have yourself a day. BTJ. I went up against him in fantasy, but who cares? I'm still going to pull out the win. 32-16, absolute rout from the Jaguars. 2-5, starting to right their own ship, maybe. Maybe Doug Peterson saves his job another week, but hey, the Jaguars. I don't think Doug Peterson's going to be coaching them once they get to Ford Field.
Fire
I
Doug
would
Peterson,
not think
please.
so.
Get him out of Jacksonville.
And Drake May looked great as well. Drake May looked very good. I think the Patriots have themselves a player if they could develop him correctly. So good for Drake May, good for the Patriots. You got yourselves another quarterback. The Texans and the Packers. Oh, boy. Texans lose it late to the Packers on a game-winning field goal. Not ideal.
Nope.
I like the Texans, and I don't like the Packers.
Houston Texans, welcome to the NFC
And
North,
it's-
buddy. You went
it's-
0-2 against the NFC North.
It comes to a point too when I do a live Sports Central show for MHTV on Wednesdays.
Yep.
Our analyst is a Packers fan,
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
so he wants Lions fans like us to suffer. So it's going to be an interesting conversation on Wednesday. But
Yeah, I think-
this is like worst case scenario.
I mean, the Texans, I feel like they're going to give us a run for our money, but
They will.
I think we'll defeat the Texans. I think, I like the Texans. I think they're good. I think they're going to make the playoffs. They might make a Super Bowl run, but there's some. C.J. Stroud didn't look too great, and when C.J. Stroud doesn't play too well, what happens? They probably lose that game. So, hopefully the Texans can bounce back next week. Seahawks and Falcons. What the heck happened here? My dirty birds. What are you guys doing? You guys got blown out at home by Seahawks. Not ideal. I picked the Falcons personally. 34-14 blowout.
I picked
Yikes.
both the Texans and the Falcons.
As
so-
did I, yeah.
Yeah, Texans Falcons. This one was rough.
Rough one. Another blowout on our hands in the next game. Bills and Titans. We're just flying through these blowouts. 34-10. Amari Cooper gets his first tutty as a Bill. And the Titans just look even worse. They just look even worse.
And then they got to come to Detroit next week.
Yeah.
The funny thing about that Amari Cooper tud, I can't remember who the receiver was next to him. He literally had to tell him which route to run to get him to score.
I mean, he only had a couple days of practice. We got
Fair
to cut him
enough.
some slack there. But,
Fair enough. But I thought that was just really, really funny.
yeah, that is pretty funny. The Bills, they finally have their wide receiver one, and now the Bills look even better.
Yeah, they do.
With him. Josh Allen, like Ryan mentioned, in his stars, looked incredible. He's probably going to win MVP if he keeps playing like this. The Lions and Vikings. Lions take it 31-29. We discussed that. The Philadelphia Eagles absolutely destroy the Giants off the arms of Saquon Barkley, 28-3. Jalen Hurts looked a lot better this week. A.J. Brown got in on the scoring. Their defense looks a lot better. The Giants come back down to earth. They're 2-5. The Giants looked kind of decent against the Seahawks, but I think that was just an off day for the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Eagles kind of right the ship against a division foe. So the Eagles get a very much needed win there. They needed that win very badly. Speaking of needing a win badly, Cincinnati.
Yes.
Cincinnati and Cleveland, 21-14. Joe Burrow continues to have a pretty good year. He has 14 tuds, only 2 interceptions. Good stuff from Burrow.
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson did go down with injury. There is
yeah.
no reason to celebrate somebody rupturing their Achilles and seeing it pop.
And Jameis, I'm going to say this, Jameis Winston. Hold on.
Heck of a guy.
I got to find...
I have
this.
all of the respect in the world for famous Jameis Winston. Not only is he a funny guy and a really cool guy, stand-up guy, great character, and all the fans cheering for in the stadium for Deshaun Watson when obviously his Achilles, you could see it pop. So, and we don't know if he's going to see the field again. So, as bad of a person as he might be, or I don't even want to say that because we don't know him.
Yeah.
Based on the accusations, as bad as some things that he's done in the past might be, you never root for somebody to get injured, especially to the significance of a late in the career Achilles injury. Aaron Rodgers has barely come back from that.
Yep.
And that's Aaron Rodgers.
To quote Jameson Williams, no. To quote Mr. CC's Pizza himself,
Yes.
Jameis Winston, the way I was raised, I will never pull the man when he's down, but I will be the person to lift him up. I do not want the treatment that Deshaun Watson has received from these passionate fans. I'm grateful I had a chance to serve Deshaun. That is the way to...
And he's been putting in work.
perfect.
He's
He
been
has.
there. He's been putting his all into the season, trying to put everything behind him. Nothing but the best to him for his recovery. Hopefully he can come back from it, but
But the fact...
you don't have to like the person, but you have to respect the player and whatever happens on the field.
I have a lot less respect for Browns fans after giving him a standing ovation for bad reasons.
Yeah.
When he got carted off the field.
Just if the card is on the field, there's no reason to
should
cheer.
be silent. Zip it, lock it, put it in your pocket.
Not even Cowboys. Cowboys fans weren't cheering when Hutch was down.
No, they were silent. Good
job,
job,
Cowboys
Cowboys
fans.
fans, Browns fans. I'm going to use my teacher voice. Zip it, lock it, put it in your pocket. When someone's on the field, when the
Bars.
cart comes out of the ambulance, you stay quiet.
You don't
Not
cheer for
give
and it's their own player too.
Right, it's your QB1. I get it. He hasn't looked the greatest since he's come to Cleveland. I understand. But no matter the circumstances, if Javi Baez was down on the field, I wouldn't be clapping for him.
Yeah.
If Kendall Vildor was down on the field, I wouldn't be clapping for him.
If Killian Hayes.
If Tim Hardaway Jr. was down on the court and he had to be helped off, I wouldn't be clapping. If Jeff Petrie was on the ice and he had to be helped off, I wouldn't. The bottom line is you should, no matter the player, best in the NFL or worst in the NFL, you should never, and I mean never, clap for them because they were bad.
And a QB's not going to be good in a bad system. Cleveland's got a bad system.
Cleveland is awful. Historically
bad.
bad.
You can see how bad their offensive system is this year, and I don't blame Deshaun for not playing too well this year because you kind of can't. When your offensive system isn't too great, I mean, you're not going to do well as a quarterback, but nonetheless,
Cleveland is
speedy
my
recovery
least
to you.
favorite fan base because of that now.
I don't like Cleveland to begin with. Anyways, the Colts and the Dolphins.
Miami.
Oh, we
what's
got
happening?
a real barn burner
Yeah,
here.
this was a track meet here, gentlemen.
Yeah, 16-10 final score. The Colts pull one out. Not too shabby there on my end. I picked the Colts. The Raiders and the Rams. The Rams. I said, hey, Matthew Stafford is going to get it going. I thought Cooper Kupp would be back this week. He's going to be back for Thursday night's football. Rams pull one out. 2-4 on the season for the Rams. And, I mean, it was against the Raiders, but nonetheless, a win is a win.
Win is a win.
The Raiders are frauds.
And then we have another
Hey,
blowout.
Max Crosby's trying his best.
He is. He still looked a little passionate on the field, which is good to see. The Commanders take care of business against the Panthers. It looked a little bleak for Jaden Daniels.
But he's fine,
He's fine. He's okay.
which is good.
He'll be fine for next week. They didn't put him back in for precaution, and Marcus Mariota was cooking. Just Zach Ertz and Marcus Mariota in Big 2024 hooking up for a tud. I didn't think I'd see that, but hey, here we are, 40-7. The Panthers just look generationally bad, and the Commanders look very good still. 5-2 start for the Commanders. Who would have guessed it? Not me, but good for them. They've got a good team on their hands. Maybe they're going to make some moves at the deadline for some defensive players.
Maybe.
They need some help there.
Yeah, Jonathan Allen's not going to play for the rest of the year.
Yeah, so I'm sure they'll be active in the trade market. The Chiefs somehow, some way, find a way to win. Patrick Mahomes looks like a bottom 10 quarterback throwing the ball this year. I said it. I will stand by it. His QBR is like 50 this season. He has more interceptions than touchdowns, but he made the play of the season for them so far, and that was that 30-yard rush. When you thought he was going to be down maybe 4 yards, no, he gets 30 and a first down and then trucks a defender. I mean, great play on the ground from Patrick Mahomes. I could call it how it is. I might not like the guy. I don't really have anything against Patrick Mahomes, but I don't like the Chiefs. But incredible win. Their defense looks just outstanding.
Yeah.
They are a defensive team, which you got to kind of get used to that. You know, they're used to being an offensive team, but the Chiefs. I mean, Kareem Hunt. What do you have? 2 or 3 tuds. So, I mean, they lost. They're without some key guys. Travis Kelce still really isn't getting that involved in the passing game, even though his blocking has been great. But Chiefs find a way, man. They're undefeated.
Travis Kelce, you put up 5!
That's 5.
I don't like you, Travis Kelce. I've never liked you. You're an actor. He's more of an actor than a football player.
He's good at blocking, but he's just not in the pass game anymore, which is sad to see.
Focus on football rather than dancing at the Eras Tour.
Oh, boy. All right. YouTube's taking down our channel now.
Uh-oh. No, I'm so scared.
All right, and then Sunday's night football. So,
What was my upset of the week?
what was your upset of the week?
I don't know.
You don't even remember.
Oh, the Commanders. No, it wasn't.
Commanders were not an upset.
Maybe it was the Jets.
It probably was.
Maybe I think my upset of the week was the
It
New
might
York
have been
Jets.
the Jets.
So the Jets, I switched my pick last minute. Matthew Berry convinced me. I thought, New York coming into this one, backs are against the wall. You need this win. It's a must-win game. You got Devontae Adams. You just got your top sacker back. You have everything to win. And in the first half, they looked great. And then the second half came, and they just were completely terrible. Garbage. Disgusting. And that backfired on me. But
Yeah, the
What
Ryan
can you say?
Donnelly upset of the week once again looking pretty bad. Once Ryan Donnelly picks an upset, the teams think, "Oh, Ryan Donnelly is our upset. Let's lose on purpose."
yes, because
Yeah,
Ryan Donnelly picked them.
37-15 was the final. Shout out Isaac. I'm happy for you.
Isaac's team, 5-2.
Yeah.
He's supporting
Isaac's
a couple
number
winners.
one team, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Friend of the program. And then tonight we have Ravens Bucks and we have Chargers Cardinals. Chargers Cardinals are not available to the general public. That is an ESPN Plus exclusive, so nobody will be watching.
I won't.
Ravens and Bucks will be a decent game, but me personally, I'm going to have Uso on my television screen tonight. So there's that. That's the NFL for Week 7. Lots of blowouts, but a lot of good individual performances this week. Hopefully we got a couple good games tonight. But that's it for today's program, folks.
Short one.
Short one today, rather short. Thanks for tuning in. Card Guys, Season 3, Episode 12, here on 101.1 The Beat and YouTube. Hey, stay tuned for Wednesday's program, where we have a special edition of Count That Baby in a Foul integrated into Card Guys. So you get a little two for one special here on Wednesday. So we got Pistons, we got a little bit of Red Wings we got to talk about, and we have a little Lions preview. So we have a pretty jam-packed show on Wednesday. The Pistons open up their season on Wednesday against the Pacers, so it's going to be a fun one. Make sure to join us, as always, here on Card Guys Detroit Sports Talk. For my good buddies Ryan Donnelly and Michael Rosenkranz, I'm Anthony Schulte saying, So long, everybody.
Love you, Mom and Dad. If this video gets 20 likes, we will bring back Count That Baby in a Foul full time.